Good evening and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist. I'm going to do the Ginger's Corner Hop with the children's books around the world. I've got to get my paper here. And the one I'm going to do tonight is Asfa in Istanbul. And you've probably already heard the description of the book, but I'm going to read it anyway because I actually listened to it. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. This captivating picture book blends the magic of Istanbul's rich culture and history with the universal theme of family and friendship. Readers of all ages will be drawn to this enchanting story, where ordinary boys become heroes on an extraordinary journey. Join Asfa, a spirited young boy, and his family on an enchanting journey to Turkey. The vacation is brimming with excitement until a chance encounter during a Bosphorus cruise changes everything. Asfa and his newfound friend, everything for Asfa and his newfound friend. Ruslan meets I can't even read. Asfa and his newfound friend Ruslan meet someone with a heart-wrenching tale of tragedy. So to earn our bookmark for this book, we have to create a story-based layout of an important event. You must tell the story through your journaling, which needs to be included on the page, and you must use steampunk style and have gears and clocks on your page. But the main focus should be the story you're telling. Well, the story I'm going to tell is about my cruise down the Bosphorus Strait. As you know, if you watch my videos, I've been trying to get my trip to Turkey documented. And we did do a cruise on the Bosphorus Strait, and I would like to include about a jillion pictures, but I didn't. It was really cold and windy that day, and sleet, not really sleeting, but cold, like drizzle. And so you can see I've got my raincoat on, and I've got my scarf up over my face, and oh, it was freezing. And then here's my friend, here's my best friend. I was going to use this picture, and then I just didn't have room, so she didn't make it. This is the Bosphorus Strait. This is the Bosphorus Strait. Just some of the things that you can see just looking. We were up on the bridge that crosses it, looking down through the Bosphorus Strait there. This is Maiden's Tower, which is there on the Bosphorus Strait. This is Rommel's Fortress. And I have another picture. Oh, there it is. And these are some of the old walls of Constantinople. So those are the pictures that I'm going to scrap today. I had, like I said, originally, I had this picture right here. And then I went, oh my goodness, I don't have any of the other sites on there and I wanted more of the things that you could see along there. So I am going to include Maiden's Tower, the Rommel's Fortress, and the walls of Constantinople, because you can see all of those things as you go down that strait there in Istanbul. And I'll read you, this is the story. I mean, that was the story, and that's included in here, but I want to read you a little bit about the Bosphorus Strait. We rode through the ferry on the Bosphorus Strait. It's a narrow passage of water that connects the Black Sea to the Mediterranean Sea. The strait divides the city of Istanbul, the country of Turkey, and the continents of Europe and Asia. It's a very strategic waterway controlled by Turkey. Shipments of oil, grain, and other goods, especially from Russia, depend on this waterway. About 3 million barrels of oil a day pass through this strait. It's militarily strategic as well. Thus, it's crucial for the global economy and security. It is certainly a great historic passageway. Sites along the strait include palaces, mosques, Rommel's Fortress, Maiden's Tower, and ruins of the walls of Constantinople. It was a cold, wet, and windy day, but that did not stop us from soaking up the scenic cruise. So that is my story about this cruise down the Bosphorus Strait. And then I'm going to tell you what I did. I Googled the book. What is the name of the little book? Asfa in Istanbul. I Googled the little book and found it where it would read it to me. And because I, of course, didn't have the book, and I wanted to know what it was about. And it was just an amazing little book. And then there's another book, Asfa in Cappadocia. There are several of them, and they're good books. I would like for my grandsons to have them. I am going to do some mixed media. I don't do a ton of mixed media on my layouts. I do more mixed media actually on cards, but I'm going to do some mixed media today. I am using, what is this? This is Outdoor Denim by Stampin' Up. And I just put a bunch on this piece of packaging, and we're going to just splatter with it. And I just need the edges because most of this is going to be covered up. See if I can clean up my mess here as soon as I get through. I normally put something down, and I didn't. Okay, so that's got quite a bit of splattering around the edges. And like I said, most of it's going to be covered up, so it doesn't really matter. But I wanted something so that we had that look going on. Get that out of my way. And clean up my mess before it has time to dry on my desk. So excuse me while I clean house here. The good thing about this desk is it will come off. All right. Okay, then that should have given that time to dry. Then I am going to use, I had to kind of make my own stencil. I have die cuts. Let me find my die cuts. Here they are. The only two things I have that could even be used for steampunk, I have these gears, and then I have these clocks. And those are the only two things I had. So we're just going to have, it's the gears and the clocks, which are the requirement. And then I've done the story, which was the requirement. So I decided that I would try to cut those out of just some acetate, and parts of it cut and parts of it didn't, and that's fine because I'm just going to use parts of it and I want it really light as a stencil. I'm going to need some paper because I don't want any first generation stuff here. Let's see what I can do here. It's just some scratch paper. Let's see what we can get over here. I am just going to use very lightly, whoops, come back here. Very lightly, I'm going to use this, see if I can line that back up. Kind of partially cut. I need to make sure that I'm in frame because I moved this a while ago. Yeah, it's still there. Just want to add some kind of gears, and I think I'm going to try to hold this and get it a little bit. But I don't want anything too dark. This is part of what cut out. And then the other is part of what it cut out of. But I just want that kind of shadowy look of these gears around. And some can be lighter than others. And it doesn't hurt that this is dark. I did do some on my title that I did not want very dark at all. Let's see, let's get this bigger one over here. So we're just going to go around with a little bit of this just to add some steampunk to our paper. And again, so much of this is going to be covered up, so it's not like it's going to show a whole lot. just, while I'm doing this, actually, I'll do the twist. The twist, I love this twist tonight. I was scrolling through Facebook like I do a lot, and I'd like to give credit to this guy because I have no clue who he was. It didn't say, and so I have no clue who he was. But he was, he asked this question, and let me see if I want to get it right. He asked the question, why does a fisherman bait his hook? And of course, it was like, well, to catch a fish. Everybody's just kind of, well, that's a dumb question, to catch a fish. And he says, no, that's really not the reason a fisherman baits his hook. He says, the reason a fisherman baits his hook is to hide the hook. Because there isn't a fish alive that will bite a naked hook. And I thought, you know what? That's pretty genius. That is pretty genius. And that is absolutely the truth. Fish don't bite. I can remember as a little kid, we would, use fish hooks, and we would go down and we wouldn't have any worms or anything, and we'd just throw those hooks in, and nothing ever bit them. So that's really a pretty good point. It was to hide the hook. And so he began to apply that, of course, to, how that applies to our Christian lives. And he says, that's exactly what Satan does to us, is he hides the hook. He doesn't tell us what the naked hook is. He doesn't say, do you want to ruin your marriage and lose your husband? No, he just shows us someone that looks better, that's tempting and that looks better than what we've already got. And so the next thing, someone knows, maybe they're cheating on their husband, or they're, doing something like that. He says, that's the naked hook. He just doesn't show us the naked hook. And then I thought, I need to apply that to me. What's something that I fall for the naked hook? And I thought, well, the first thing I do is I don't eat properly, like I should. It's like, oh yeah, let's enjoy, all those rich steaks and the chocolate cakes and the chicken Alfredo and all of that kind of stuff, and never give any thought to what that's doing, to my heart and to my health, because Satan doesn't come along and it isn't on the menu, heart trouble, No, Satan's pretty clever. And so it's like he hides the naked hook, and that's how we get drawn into sin. And so I found a scripture. I wanted a scripture to put with that. And there were really a lot that were really good to go with that. But the one that I chose was Proverbs 5:22. It says, evil deeds of the wicked ensnare them. The cords of their sin hold them fast. And so I thought the thing that we need to learn from this is that we need to pray that God will help us see the naked hook, to see through that, the beauty, the good, the temptation, the bait, to see through the bait and to see the naked hook and say, no thanks today, Satan. I don't need that. That's not what I'm not going to fall for your tricks. I'm not going to fall for your tricks. I'm going to keep my life the way it's supposed to be and not fall for your tricks. So I wish I could give credit to the guy that was doing that, and but I don't know who it was, but I thought that was really good. He used the example of David and Bathsheba, and he says, God didn't say, hey, you want me to take your firstborn son? Because, he and Bathsheba had a son when he sinned with her, and that baby died. No, Satan's way smarter than that. He just showed David the beauty of Bathsheba and tempted him to sin with her. And then, of course, the price was that they lost that first baby. So I thought that was pretty good. Just, Lord, help us see the hook and not just the temptation. Okay, I think I about got enough. And if I don't, we can go back and add something. Let's see, let's do this one more time. This is all of that middle part. So there's some of our gears. Now, let me get this closed up. I should, I think, be through with this. Get some of this stuff put away. There. Okay, so here are our pictures. And I want to just put this, I went ahead and put this down. And I'm going to go ahead and confess to y'all. I had my journaling typed up, and I had this already down on here. And I looked at that and I went, Bosporus Strait. And I had spelled straight, S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. Well, I taught geography for how many years? I knew that straight, like a water, way, straight, was not S-T-R-I-G-H-T. But when I was typing it, that's what I typed. And so I had to peel that off and cut another T to spell it correctly. So I am evidence that you can have all kinds of college degrees and not be able to spell. I am not a speller, I will just tell you. I am not. I'm dyslexic, and I'll just be honest with you. I have dyslexia. My son has dyslexia. We're very intelligent, don't misunderstand. I mean, master's degree, part of my doctorate, but just, it's not that I'm stupid, and my son certainly isn't, but just can't spell. That's just part of it. And even phonetically, it just kind of all sounds the same to me. The good thing is, I know I can't spell, and so I look it up, and now with spell check and Google and all the things we have access to, it's not near as bad. But it was tough for me in school when we had to look everything up in a dictionary. I would write my papers, and then I just spent hours going through because I knew I couldn't spell. And now math, I'll put my math skills up against anybody. And that's the same way my son is. I'm a great reader, but I'm a slow reader. Now, when I get through reading it, I know it. But, yeah, it was a challenge. Let's see, I got to remember I've got another picture to add down here. So it was definitely a challenge, anything that, and I could memorize to spell, but then it wouldn't be in my long-term memory. It would be, it'd be gone after, I took the test, it was gone. All right, let's get this on here. Oh, I was going to tell you more about that little book. I just Googled it, and there was one that it would read it to you. And so I clicked on it and let it read me that book. And it's a great book. I want to read the others that are in that series. But this little boy and his family, I'm not going to give it all away to you because you really should read it. But his family, they're travel bloggers. And so he's, been traveling all of his life. And so they go to Istanbul and they take this cruise on the Bosporus. And that's where their tour guide is this other little boy's dad, Ruslan's dad. And then that's where they get involved in their adventure. And it is a very original adventure. I'll guarantee you haven't read an adventure like it. It's very well written. And it gives you, like as I was listening to it, I was just like, it talks about the Hagia Sophia, that would be that right there. It talks about, this Bosporus Strait and some of the things they saw. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. Let's see, I wanted to stick this under here, and I meant to do that before I glued everything down, of course. This was some paper that I had that just had those kind of dotted circles, that kind of concentric circles that sort of looked like gears. And so I decided to work them in here. Like said, a bunch of this is going to be covered up. So, okay, make sure that's kind of straight. And I believe it is. Here we go. Oh man, I tell you what, I was going to scrapbook today. That was going to be my thing today. I worked hard yesterday to get some things done, had some meetings and everything yesterday. And so, I was going to scrapbook today. Yeah. And then I had things I ended up having to do today. And so I kind of got them done. Then it was time for me to go to a thing I do twice a month on Tuesday night. And I pick up another lady to go do that. So it's time to go do that. And it lasted later than normal. So I was like, here it is, 9:40 at night. And I finally am going to get to put this scrapbook page together. My life has gotten so busy. I know that's all I ever say, and it's going to get worse because the end of October, 1st of November, I'll be having puppies. Okay, let's see what we got here. I want to put this Maiden's Tower on here, and it's okay to cover up. I want to leave, this is the Blue Mosque and the Hagia Sophia, which is another church. It's a mosque now, but it was a Catholic church, I guess, under Constantine. And then this is that Rommel's, Rommel's Fortress. So I want that on there, but I think I'm going to put that down. Let's try it. I think this will fit. And then these are those ancient walls of Constantinople. So I think I'm going to put that there and then see what we can do with this down here. Like I said, I don't really mind covering. I just wanted you to be able to see some of the things that you can see from that ferry ride. Then I've got my gears and clocks and everything that I've got to work in. This is something that I had left over from another layout. Don't even remember what layout. And I had stuck it in my stuff and not thrown it away. So I thought, well, I'll stick that in there somehow. I want to get some of these clocks incorporated in these gears. So let's just see what we can do. Get a cluster going down here. Now I can move this over. I can put that anywhere I need it. Tie these together with some gears maybe. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I have this. This is like a clock. I don't know if I want to use that or not, but it's like a clock arm that was in some of my stuff that I thought I might stick on that clock. We'll see. And then I've got the brad that would go in it. We'll see. We'll think about that. Okay, let's do another one up here. Get some gears in here. I could cut that down to get it in there. Let's do that. See if we can just cut it down and get it in there. I don't know. We'll see. Yes, something like that. But I do want them to overlap. There we go. We need another one down here. Let's get these pictures down because I'm pretty sure that's where I want them. So let's get them down. There we go. I did this background. I'll kind of walk you through the base of this. This is just a stripe that I think it may have been a paper pad from a long time ago. I've got another sheet of it, so I think it was just a paper pad. Then I did ink the edges, and I put down the title so that it wouldn't take quite so long to do the layout. I typed this and put it also on this, and I just tore this. I like the look of the torn paper with the steampunk stuff. I just kind of like that look. So I tore it, and I inked it in that outdoor denim because it was white core paper. So I inked it in the outdoor denim really good. And then what else did I do? And then I matted these on some just kind of grayish blue. And then, of course, these others are not matted. And I'm not going to matte this one at all because I don't want it to take up any more room. So let's put, I'm going to glue this down, and then I'll glue the picture on top of it. But I like the way these little die cuts did, and thank goodness I had them, or I don't know, I wouldn't have been able to do the steampunk. I do like it, I just didn't have anything, so I need to order something or find something so that I've kind of got a little bit more, since it's kind of a popular thing right now. I'm just going to glue this in the middle because I'm probably going to want to tuck some more stuff. Okay, so that's got those down. Now I'm going to have to wait to put this down because so much of this stuff goes under it. I'm liking this, so I think I'm going to just go ahead and glue that down. And I may come back and put that on there. I haven't decided for sure. I think I'm going to leave that clock right where it is. So let's get some glue under it. Move our picture. Let's get this down. I just cut, I think, 3 sets of these gears and clocks. So if I decided to do all 3, to do 3 or more clusters, I'd have what I needed. So let's get this bigger one down. I won't get to do, tomorrow is what? Yes, tomorrow's oh, don't get on that picture. Tomorrow's Wednesday, and I've got to go do 2 observations tomorrow in Keller, which is about an hour from here. So I got to get up early. But just because I have to get up early does not mean I'll be able to go to sleep early, because I don't sleep. That's not a good thing. My husband used to tease me and tell me that I went to sleep on the way to bed. That I just, and I mean, that's pretty much the truth. I mean, I would just, if I was in bed, I could just go right to sleep. But boy, as I have gotten older, that is not the situation. There are times, like one day last week, I didn't go to sleep. I laid in bed, but I did not go to sleep until 5 a.m. I hate it when I do that. Or I go to sleep, midnight-ish or so. I go to sleep, and then I'll wake up at 2 or 3, and then I can't go back to sleep. And then when I do, it's, 6:37, and then I don't want to get up till 10. So it's not fun at all. I'm going to need more down here, something maybe. We'll see. But I like that. Let's get this down. But if I hadn't had these, I don't know what I would have done. My friend that is my travel buddy, she's going through some stuff right now that's pretty sad. Her husband's several years, I think he's like 6 years older, yeah, a good 6 years older than she is. And he has gone blind. So it's really sad. It's like taking care of and he's gotten childish. He just turned 92. She's older than I am, but we've been super close friends for years. And we've traveled all over the world together. We're just close friends. And the one that passed away here a while back was like our third. We were kind of we've been called the Golden Girls, the Three Musketeers. We've been called everything. But it has really taken its toll on her. He's fallen several times, and physically it's hard on her, and emotionally it's hard on her. And he's gotten kind of childish, and it's just really hard on her. And she can't leave him. So it's a tough deal. I took care of my husband for a year before he passed away, but this could be a long-term deal for her because he's in good health. I think I am going to use this it's kind of in the right color thing, and I think I'll just use it. I used brads on something the other day. When I think of them, I like to use them. I just don't think of them. There we go. Let's see. I don't have much left. I've got this and part of a clock, and that's it. So I don't really want to cluster in every corner, so I don't know that I want to do that. I might just stick this right under there, though, just to bring that blue up there just a little bit. Not really a cluster, but need it under there just a little further. Because that's all I've got. That is all I've got. I've got this, but I don't think I can use anything that big. I don't know if I can get that in there or not. This one didn't cut out all the way, and so I thought I could just use that little segment of it. Let's see if I can do something with it. And then cover it with the gears. That kind of puts me a cluster in all 4 corners, which isn't really particularly good planning, but I still think I need this blue up here, so I think I'm going to do it anyway. come loose, come loose. I glued it well. And I want that one on top of them. I think I'm going to have to cut part of it away too because I did glue that down so well. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I had some washi tape that was clocks that I really wanted to use, but it was brown or tannish. And there is actually a little tiny line in here that would bring in the brown, but I didn't have anything else brown. There's a tiny little bit of brown in that, but it just wasn't, I just didn't think it worked. Even as much as I would have liked to have used it, it just really didn't work. Uh-oh, somebody's having a disagreement in there. That's not nice. Okay, I think I am going to leave it at that. I think that is going to be it. So there is my story about my event. Whoops, I got to get my Maiden's Tower on there. My event about going down the Bosphorus Strait, which I just had to do that after the book was what the book was. I absolutely had to do this. And my gears and my clocks. I don't want that quite that low. And my story about the Bosphorus Strait. And there is one more of my turkey layouts in the books. Thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks for stopping by my channel. If you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe. And if you have not checked out this hop, there will be a link below so that you can go watch everybody else's layouts on this hop. This is one of my favorites, and it's one that's people really participate in it. So if you have not joined Ginger's Corner over on the Facebook group, there's all kinds of good stuff going on over there, and that link will also be in the description. So I just thank you for dropping by. I hope you have a blessed night and be a blessing to someone else.